Have you ever wondered how Indonesia, a country rich in natural resources, was once exploited for economic gain? Let's dive deep into the pages of history to the Dutch colonial era, a period marked by a systematic and ruthless extraction of wealth that left an indelible mark on Indonesia's economic landscape. In the early 17th century, the Dutch East India Company, or VOC, landed on Indonesian shores. Their eyes gleamed not with the beauty of the archipelago, but with the promise of economic prosperity: spices, coffee, sugar, and more. The Dutch introduced a forced cultivation system known as cultuurstelsel, literally meaning the culture system. Under this system, local farmers were compelled to set aside a portion of their land to cultivate export crops for the Dutch. The VOC became the world's first multinational corporation, reaping enormous profits from these Indonesian resources. However, this economic boon for the Dutch came at a terrible cost to the Indonesian people. The forced cultivation system disrupted traditional farming practices, leading to widespread food shortages and famine. Moreover, the relentless extraction of natural resources left the land impoverished and the people destitute. But it wasn't just about spices and crops. The Dutch also exploited Indonesia's rich mineral resources. The extraction of oil, tin, and other minerals further fueled the Dutch economy while leaving the local population in a state of deprivation. It's important to note, though, that this wasn't a story unique to Indonesia. Across the globe, colonial powers exploited their colonies for economic gain, but the extent and intensity of exploitation in Indonesia were particularly severe, causing deep economic and social scars that took decades to heal. The colonial era left a significant mark on the economic landscape of Indonesia, setting the stage for its future economic journey. As we move forward, we'll explore how Indonesia navigated its post-colonial economic reconstruction, the twists and turns of economic liberalization, and its resilience in the face of financial crises. Stay tuned as we unravel the fascinating economic story of Indonesia, from colonialism to emerging market. After gaining independence in 1945, how did Indonesia rebuild its economy? This is a question that invites us into the heart of Indonesia's economic narrative. A narrative of resilience, determination, and the pursuit of economic sovereignty. Independence from colonial rule was just the first step. The real challenge lay in rebuilding an economy that had been systematically exploited for centuries. In the ashes of colonial rule, Indonesia found itself grappling with a weakened infrastructure, a lack of local industry, and an economy heavily reliant on exports of raw materials. Enter President Sukarno, a charismatic leader with a vision for a self-sufficient Indonesia. Sukarno championed a state-controlled economy, believing that the state should be the main driver of economic development. He asserted that only through state control could Indonesia ensure its economic sovereignty and prevent foreign exploitation. In line with this vision, Sukarno embarked on a program of nationalization, gradually transferring control of industries from foreign to Indonesian hands. Industries ranging from mining to banking were targeted, with the state taking majority control. This was not just an economic move, but also an assertion of national identity and independence. However, this approach was not without its challenges. State control often led to inefficiency and corruption, and the lack of competition hindered innovation. Furthermore, while nationalization did help to increase local control, it also strained relations with foreign investors and led to economic isolation. Despite these challenges, the post-colonial period was a critical time of economic reconstruction for Indonesia. It was a time of trial and error, of bold moves and difficult lessons. But through it all, Indonesia's pursuit of economic sovereignty stood firm. The state-controlled economy and nationalization were not just policies but symbols of a nation determined to shape its own economic destiny. The post-colonial era was a period of economic reconstruction marked by state control and nationalization. This phase was a stepping stone, setting the stage for the next chapter in Indonesia's economic story, the era of the new order and economic liberalization. But that's a story for another time. How did the new order under President Suharto transform Indonesia's economy? Well, let's dive into this fascinating chapter of Indonesia's economic journey. In the mid-20th century, Indonesia found itself under the leadership of President Suharto, who ushered in an era known as the New Order. This era marked a significant shift from the previous policies of economic nationalism to a more open and liberal economic structure. Suharto's new order was a period of economic metamorphosis, characterized by concerted efforts to liberalize the economy. the government began to loosen its grip on various sectors, encouraging competition and allowing market forces to play a more decisive role in shaping the economy. One of the key strategies of the new order was to attract foreign investment. The government implemented policies to make Indonesia an attractive destination for overseas capital. This move was a game-changer, catapulting the country into the global economic arena. The infusion of foreign capital not only boosted the economy, but also brought in much-needed technology and expertise, fueling the growth of various sectors. Another critical aspect of the new order was the growth of the private sector. In contrast to the previous era where the state had a dominant role in the economy, the new order saw a deliberate shift towards encouraging private enterprise. The private sector, once considered a peripheral player, was now at the forefront of the economic scene. This change led to an entrepreneurial boom, with numerous businesses sprouting up, further energizing the economy. In essence, the New Order period was marked by a shift towards economic liberalization, a welcoming stance towards foreign investment, and the burgeoning of the private sector. These changes brought about a significant transformation in the Indonesian economy, setting it on a trajectory of growth. The New Order brought a significant shift in Indonesia's economic policy, paving the way for economic growth. This era of transformation laid the foundation for the Indonesia we know today, an emerging market with promising potential. So, stay tuned as we continue to unravel the economic story of Indonesia. Opening. How did the 1997 Asian financial crisis affect Indonesia, and how did it recover? The Asian financial crisis, which erupted in the summer of 1997, had a profound impact on Indonesia, a country that was enjoying robust growth and development. The crisis, which started in Thailand with the collapse of the Thai baht, quickly spread across Asia, causing stock markets to plummet and currencies to lose their value. Indonesia was not spared, and the rupiah, its national currency, fell sharply against the US dollar. The crisis laid bare the structural weaknesses in Indonesia's economy. The country's banking sector was in shambles, with a large number of non-performing loans. Its corporate sector too was heavily indebted, much of it in foreign currencies, which made the debt burden even more severe when the rupiah depreciated. But this is not a tale of doom and gloom. Rather, it's a story of resilience, of a nation's ability to bounce back from a major setback. In the wake of the crisis, Indonesia embarked on a series of reforms. The government undertook a massive restructuring of the banking sector, cleaning up the balance sheets and injecting capital into the banks. It also implemented policies to encourage foreign investment and promote exports, two key areas that would help the country earn foreign exchange and stabilize the rupiah. These measures, coupled with the inherent strengths of Indonesia's economy, such as its large domestic market and abundant natural resources, helped the country recover from the crisis. By the early 2000s, Indonesia was back on a growth trajectory. Its GDP growth rate, which had plummeted to negative in the immediate aftermath of the crisis, rebounded to positive territory. The rupiah too stabilized and began to appreciate against the US dollar. The Asian financial crisis was a severe test for Indonesia, but it also provided an opportunity for the country to undertake much-needed reforms and build a more resilient economy. The lessons learned from the crisis have served Indonesia well, helping it navigate subsequent economic shocks with greater ease and confidence. Closing. The Asian financial crisis posed a major challenge to Indonesia's economy, but it also highlighted its resilience. Where does Indonesia's economy stand today, and what does the future hold? As we step into the present, we find Indonesia in the spotlight as a promising emerging market. Its economy, the largest in Southeast Asia, is a vibrant mix of traditional agriculture, manufacturing industries, and a burgeoning service sector. Yet this economic dynamism is not without its challenges. Indonesia's economy faces a few hurdles, including a growing population, infrastructure deficits, and a need for higher value-added industries. The country's young and dynamic population, although a potential economic powerhouse, also presents a pressing need for job creation. Infrastructure development remains a priority, with a focus on improving connectivity and access to basic services across the archipelago's vast expanse. However, the challenges are matched by an abundance of opportunities. The digital revolution is transforming the economy, with technology startups sprouting up and creating jobs across the archipelago. Infrastructure development projects backed by both domestic and foreign investment are underway, promising to bridge the country's geographical divides and spur economic growth. Human capital development is another area of focus. By investing in education and skill development, Indonesia is preparing its workforce for the demands of a modern digital economy. This investment in people, coupled with a commitment to innovation and technological advancement, is setting the stage for Indonesia's future economic growth. The future of Indonesia's economy is understandably a blend of opportunities and challenges. But if history has shown us anything, it's that this nation has a knack for resilience and transformation. From the ashes of colonial exploitation, through the trials of economic liberalization and financial crises, Indonesia has continually emerged stronger. Today, Indonesia stands as a promising emerging market, with a future full of opportunities and challenges. Its economic journey is a testament to its resilience and potential. As we look to the future, we can't help but be optimistic about the economic prospects of this vibrant and dynamic nation.